Um, what's up, guys? Hope you're all doing well. Hello, Brittany. How are you doing? Welcome in here. How's your day? Hope you're well. Have you been in here before? Welcome in anyway. Good. That's good to hear. What you got planned for today then? Not really got much planned, so just gonna be on here for a while. Yeah, so where are you from, if you don't mind me asking? Oh, nothing. Alright. Fair enough. 22 degrees today, apparently. It's supposed to get... Okay, now it's saying now it's meant to get to 32 degrees on Saturday. Blimey. That is hot, that. Yeah. But we'll see how it goes, I guess. But yeah, that's what it's saying. Don't know how people have been finding it in bed, but yeah. I might have to take my... what is it called, duvet off and just have the cover, because it's been getting really warm. It's supposed to get stormy on Saturday, so yeah. Anyway, yeah, this weather's crazy. Anyway, I hope you're all doing well. Feel free to ask questions, guys. Yeah, I hope you're all well today. I'm getting some like hay fever shit really, so yeah, so I know it's a bit runny, but yeah, other than that, not too bad. Yeah, should just go get the tissue and just alright. What's up, people? How are we all doing? Hope everyone's well. Hello, Martin. How are you doing? Good morning to you. How's your day going so far? Hope you're having a good one. Welcome in here. Yeah, so just got up a little bit ago to just kind of, yeah. Usually I go live like in the morning, sort of this time. And I come back on later in the evening. It depends on how I feel really, like how long I stay on and stuff, but yeah, good. And Martin, yeah, so yeah, it's been quite warm around here, isn't it? But yeah, yesterday it wasn't as hot, but it was, yeah, it's just meant to be get quite hot towards the weekend, so yeah, some people ain't going to be looking forward to that if you're someone who sweats a lot. But are you from Scotland? How's my Scottish accent, Martin? Nice to meet you. How's the weather in Scotland? Because there's always complaining that it's raining all the time. We never get sunshine. We may get like one day per year. It's rain, cloud, snow, hail, absolutely miserable. I can't get no vitamin D. It's always bloody raining and cloudy. There's no sunshine, even in the summer. That's why we're so angry. We're just pissed off because the weather sucks. Yeah, that's Scottish people for you, isn't it? Then you've got your Sean Connery, who's, sounds quite posh for a Scottish person. Got a more kind of well-spoken Scottish accent. But Scotland has like a lot of different accents apparently. Hello Preenan, good to see you again. How have you been? Hope you're well today. Yeah, I don't really know all the different Scottish accents. Like if I was to do a Scottish accent, I'd probably just do like a Glasgow accent. That's kind of like what people would think of like the stereotypical Scottish accent. It's like if people think of like a English accent, they always think of like either Cockney or a posh accent. Haggis, aye. Where we neats and tatties as well. Yeah. Anyway, how are you doing today anyway? Hope you're well. What are your plans for today then? I haven't really got anything planned. Because last 2 Wednesdays I was actually out with my mate. Went over to where he lives, but yeah, I don't think that's happening today, so I think he's got other plans. So yeah, I've just got to see what I'm going to do. Probably some kind of workout or something later. Yeah, I just usually kind of see what I feel like doing, and yeah, I don't have a particular like agenda, so I'm just see really like just go with the flow really is what I'd say. That's generally be like my advice for things. Just try not to kind of like overthink it, just go with the flow, just not over plan, and just kind of like, of course, you don't want to just go into something that's like really risky without thinking it through, but yeah, most of the time I think just don't worry too much. Then you're just going to end up stressing yourself out. Oftentimes people end up not doing anything when they don't have pressure on yourself. People try and make all these plans and then just putting a lot of stress on yourself, because then it's like, especially if you're on the spectrum, let's say, and you have to plan everything out, but then it just ends up stressing you out. You've got to try and learn to kind of, if you're going to do some kind of plan, you should at least be open to other things happening, like, because you just never know. Sometimes I would just get, sort of like distracted, and that's okay, like things happen. You might meet a certain person, but you also have to be careful not to, like I've had the thing where, for example, I would end up, meet someone or whatever, would end up talking, and then I would get carried away, and then it ended up being, actually ended up getting back home like super late, so I got carried away, and I didn't even have a phone at the time, so like I was living with my grandmother, and she was worried because like I was like, because what happened, right? Because I was like a magician. I do like a lot of magic tricks, and like, so I bumped into this guy. He was like a magician. I was like doing all these tricks, because he was like, this was back when, like when I was actually at sixth form at the time, but yeah, but there was this guy that was like, and he was like, practicing his stuff like on the way home. I was like, oh, alright, and then I was like, oh, I'm a magician too, and then we started showing each other stuff, and it was like, I ended up actually like started going to this guy's place, like, after a while, because we started to become, like, friends and stuff over it, and it was like, but the guy started to kind of act a bit weird to me, like, it was just, he started to, like, say some kind of strange sort of things, like, about how he was going on about, like, having a military-grade iPad or something, and that he had some connections to the military, and he said all these weird things, like loads of things that were a bit kind of, I don't know if he was just trying to kind of, I don't know what he was trying to do with that, whether he was trying to freak me out or something, or what, but so some quite disturbing things that he was saying. I remember he said some weird stuff, that there was a secret room in his house. I'm like, what the hell? He said that, you know, that there's a secret room between his house or something and the next house or something like that, and it's like, I don't know, like, how it, I don't know, it was just some really weird stuff that he was saying. And I think he said there were some, like, chips everywhere, like these, you know, you get like a whole thing about RFID chips, and there was all this theories about that they're going to try and put them in your brain and stuff like that. And it would keep going on about all these things, and like, I mean, yeah, the government is spying on people, but it's like, I don't know, some of the stuff that it was saying was quite strange. Like, he said literally that, he said if you see someone reading a newspaper, they're working for the government or something like that. I'm like, well, some people just read the newspaper. It's like, you know, it's not, why, I don't know, it's just some weird shit. And they also said PK and PL registrations are government cars. So that they were saying, like, if they have those registrations, that they work for the government. I'm thinking, like, I mean, surely if you had that kind of knowledge, you wouldn't be able to, like, say to any random person, would you, you know? I mean, let's just have a look just for the thing, if there's anything on the internet about this, like, PK and PL registration, government work or something, I don't know. I'm always stressing under pressure. Reminds me of that song, Under Pressure. Is it Queen and, or is it David Bowie or something? Hello Gabriel, how you doing? Oh really? Good for you. Yeah, so I don't know, it was just some weird shit that this guy was saying, and it was showing me some video of, like, this guy trying to escape the government or some shit, and he tried to, like, spray everything so he could, like, not leave any trace or something. It's like, I don't know, it was showing me a whole bunch of weird shit, like, what is it, erasing memories and stuff like that. It's like, I don't know, like, if he believed in a lot of it, or if he was just trying to kind of freak me out or something, I don't know. It's just, yeah. But some people do have some really strange theories on things, like especially if they're on some kind of substances. I don't think he was, because he wasn't that old. I mean, he was actually, like, about 3 years younger than me, actually, but it was like, yeah, it was just some weird shit, and it kind of was a bit, I don't know, like, I went over there sometimes at the weekend. I was like, kind of, yeah, I would just kind of, like, knock on the door and see, like, you know, if he's, and we could just, like, we'll practice some of the magic tricks and stuff and watch some stuff, but then he would start going into weird shit, and then he was literally claiming that there was, like, invisible lasers and shit like that. It's like,
I don't know. I don't know if there was something wrong with the guy. He definitely seemed to be a bit kind of, I don't know. I don't know what was off with him. It was just it was strange. I mean, it was yeah. But hope you're all having a good day so far. Share this out if you can. Yeah, just keep the chat flowing, guys. I say I'm live every day, so feel free to come and join me when you get the chance. It's good to have people come and hang out, and we can, connect with each other and all that. But yeah, I've got some really big plans in the near future, so I'm just going to focus on that, I think. Try to focus on things that are within your control and not what's not within your control, because it's like there are certain things that we're not in control of. We're not in control of how other people react. We're only in control of how we react to things. And the thing is, we should probably stop being so reactive and start being proactive. It's like you get all these people complaining about things and getting triggered or whatever, but then that's not going to solve anything. Just being proactive is the best thing, really, isn't it? It's hard because of your human emotions and stuff, and it's hard to control sometimes when something external can really bother you. Sometimes it happens to me where I get some comments and it's just annoying, and but you have to just learn to kind of not respond to it, or just not react to it. I mean, it is what it is. That's, it is, it's just, yeah. Because they're probably looking for a reaction, so by not giving it to them, but you're actually probably going to annoy them, because you're they want you to, they want you to react. You have to not react. This is the thing about where I'd agree with on say stoicism and kind of trying to not react to things that are out of your control. Just stay calm, stay collected, because it's whatever you're reacting to is probably not even worth reacting to. Obviously, there's certain things that happen, when bad things happen in our lives. It's natural, but we have to understand when is it rational to act like that, and try to and if you're finding yourself overreacting to things all the time, then maybe you have to do some internal work, like shadow work, for example. It's about really learning about yourself and learning to accept parts of yourself that may cause you to get triggered at times, where it's either trying to fix things about yourself, or to try and accept what you can't fix and just try to let go of it, because the more that you hold on to things, then the more it's going to take over your life. So you're actually giving it more energy by holding on to it. You actually, it's probably going to actually make things worse. So there's a power of letting go, whether it's letting go of outcomes, letting go of attachment to anything, like a person, a thing, because attachment, they say, can actually be a great source of suffering in a lot of people. Because it's like nothing's permanent in this life. Like the person that you are attached to, that they could go at any moment. Something could take them out. They could get run over, or who knows what could happen. So being too attached to anything can just lead to devastation. So by just kind of feeling whole within yourself, then that's, I think, what helps. Like when you don't feel whole within yourself, then that can really lead you to feel like you need this other thing to be happy. But of course, there is a sort of level of attachment that's healthy, I think, and we shouldn't be completely like indifferent to things. We shouldn't be completely like, because I think that's not healthy either. If we don't feel any kind of attachment whatsoever, and we just feel like kind of a sense of I can take it or leave it kind of thing. Because I don't think, well, what's the point of anything then? If we have this kind of, you know, blasé kind of attitude, this kind of, you know, almost kind of apathetic, then, you know, what is the point to anything then? You know, that it gets to a point of like, there's no point of doing anything because it's not going to make you feel a certain way. So I think having there's a healthy level of attachment, I think, that we can have to something or someone, but we have to always keep in the back of our mind that this could go at any moment. Like if you say like got a dog or you're attached, or a cat or whatever, and you're really attached to it, and that cat goes, it could be devastating. But we have to just remember that a lot of these things are temporary, and that's fine. You know, it's just got to deal with that. Nothing in this life is permanent. You know, we're gonna go at some point. Something might happen to us where, you know, we can no longer be there for people, and it's like it's just life isn't fair at times, really. You know, there's a lot of injustice in the world, a lot of nasty things happen. There's a lot of just like, yeah, it's just, but we have to learn to accept what we can't control, you know. There's always going to be bad in the world, there's always going to be, yeah, it's one of those things, really. And yeah, I hope you're all doing well today, people. Make sure you subscribe if you're new here. That would be really appreciated. So, what do you guys think? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Like, but a lot of people are like what they call like anxiously attached to things. It's like where it's like they're affected by it too much, I think. So, I mean, it's good to feel a certain way of like, you know, you care about something to a degree of like, you know, if you completely don't care about outcomes, I think there's that as well. People talk about outcome independence, but it's like, I think if you're too much that way, then, like I said, well then what's the point of anything? Like if you are that kind of you know, sort of attached or whatever, you know, it can also be not good, I think. So I think there's like a sort of balance that we need where we feel like, because I've been down there where I say, oh, don't be attached to anything, but then, you know, it's just that, you know, I think it's healthy to have some degree of it. So I don't know, it's just one of those things, isn't it? But a lot of people struggle to be able to regulate that. Maybe it's because they have some abandonment issues, and there's that can cause people to have like anxious attachment. Like if they maybe it could be their childhood and it wasn't very good, and they had, you know, a bad upbringing, maybe they were neglected or something like that. That can then lead to anxious attachment. Whereas some people have what they call avoidant attachment, where they will go quiet when is a way to like kind of take control. A lot of men have this actually, where if they feel like they're not, you know, like that things are getting too much, they would use that as a way to take back control, to then be able to just kind of try to distance themselves from the thing. Like, say if they're talking with some woman and they're starting to get a bit overwhelmed with it all, they would distance themselves as a way to deal with it, which again is not healthy. Unless you actually like try to communicate with the person and say, I just need some break, I just need to, you know, kind of have some time to myself. I think then it's healthy if you can have that sort of communication with someone to then be, you know, so I think it's unhealthy when there's not that communication there, where it's like, when you indicate how you feel, like say, oh yeah, you know, you're I just need to kind of, you know, I'm getting a bit kind of carried away here, I'm just getting a bit too kind of you know, like attached here, and I just need to kind of pull back and just yeah, not be too sort of serious, but also you want to still be able to kind of have some, you know, like communication, but like but yeah, you have to be able to kind of communicate your thoughts and feelings with people, otherwise that can just lead them to be then kind of like confused and not know where they stand. So it's important that we give clear communication. And a lot of people seem to be struggling with these days. A lot of people seem to be struggling to socialize properly. You know, they're like they're just kind of, because of, you know, you could say because of 2020, it's like a lot of people have lost their real life social skills, and they've just kind of chronically online. They start to kind of get these kind of personality issues and stuff because, you know, because talking with people online isn't the same, because online it's like people don't necessarily learn to have like accountability and like, because they're behind the screen and all that, so then people can feel like they can just do what they want. So I think there's part of that where it's like, and it can even start to kind of become like that in person, because they're so used to not having to have that, you know, like confrontation or whatever, and that sort of accountability. Then they go out in the real world, and then they end up, you know, they just end up, you know, sort of, you know, just acting up and causing problems because they think, you know, they think they can get away with anything. Hello, Artsy Fartsy, how are you doing? Good to see you. I've seen you around before somewhere. But yeah, was that Daisy May or something, one of those channels anyway that I've been to. But yeah, how are you doing today? I hope you're well. So just talking about attachment and like, you know, different attachment styles, and you know, and how to kind of navigate it really. But and I'd say that it can be possible to change your attachment style to more of a healthy one, but it's something that people need to kind of maybe possibly resolve some of their issues that they have, because a lot of people have issues that they need to work on, and sometimes they don't even realize it. And it's like, you know, if you're getting anxious a lot, you know, it's like you need to sort of, maybe you have some, you know, deep-rooted insecurities, but then you need to get to the root of that. Why is it that you have all these problems? Because once you address the root cause of all your problems, then that can help you to become a lot more at ease and more able to function in things such as friendships, relationships, and things like that. So that's something I've been kind of learning a bit about, and I thought I'd just talk a bit about it. But it's a lot of people are finding things difficult now, and some people might just be getting like anxiousness because of trust issues now, and it's become a problem where you've got people are online a lot more, and they're talking to all these people. You've got access to tons of people online all the time. It's so easy to just go message somebody that it's like, oh, I'll just go message this person because I'm not feeling so good today, because this person, we're like kind of not really getting on today, so I'm just gonna go message this other person. But that's not really fair, is it? You should deal with the problem instead of trying to go and sort of like basically cheat on the person, because people are just like willing to like just sabotage everything that they've built, and no wonder trust issues are at an all-time high. So that can cause people to get anxious and worried about like what is the person doing. So there is partly that as well, because oftentimes there's people doing dodgy things behind people's backs, and it's just not fair, But some people have no like. I mean, some people are like just I don't know. It's like they're not getting their needs met, so then they look elsewhere, instead of trying to resolve the issues, and or just you should be trying to communicate, saying that we're gonna have to try and sort this out, otherwise I can't be doing this anymore. Instead of just doing things behind somebody's back, I think that's not fair. Hello, Jolene, how you doing? Oh, you had a bad sleep? Oh no. Yeah. Yeah, it's not good when you've not had a good sleep. I've noticed that if I've not had a good sleep, then I feel shit the next day. So yeah, it's just not good at all, is it really? Just gotta make sure that your sleep is good. And when your sleep is good, then it can help you to become more energized throughout the day. And also, some of these issues that people have, like anxiety and depression, it can actually be worsened by sort of lack of sleep. But then the problem is sometimes they struggle to even do that. I don't know. So, but there are things that people can do to try and improve their mental state by things like going on walks, doing exercise, finding your purpose. I think is an important one, because oftentimes people are feeling depressed because they don't have something to strive towards. They don't have a goal to strive towards. They feel aimless. They feel like the life ain't going anywhere. So it's hard to really kind of, to motivate yourself to keep going when you feel like your life is just kind of a standstill. So that is something that, maybe people need to work on. If they have those issues, then is some kind of purpose, something that gives you a reason to want to get up every morning, to be able to just seize the day, if you will. You've got to be able to just find that calling in you. What are you called to do? Look within. There is something that you are called to do. I mean, maybe it's, maybe you want to become a doctor or something, or maybe you work as in the fire service or something, or maybe you want to start your own YouTube channel and start giving out advice to people, or just try and make people laugh or something, I don't know, because by helping others, it can actually help you too, because it can make you feel like your life is worthwhile. It's hard to feel depressed if you're having a direct effect on someone else, like, in a positive way. Now, of course, you can argue, well, it's the brain chemistry and all that, but I think that's been largely debunked. This whole thing about the, chemicals in the brain causing depression, because when they did a meta-analysis on that, they found that there was really no correlation, there was correlation, but there wasn't actually any proven causation with it. And the whole thing of serotonin and all that they said, oh, well, in depressed people they produce less serotonin, but they're saying how that it might not be a causal thing, it might not be because they naturally produce less of it, but rather that serotonin follows it, or low serotonin follows depression. So, yeah, you're right, that one. What do you mean? Yeah, I'm just, you're saying about pacing, yeah. Sometimes I find that it helps me with, like, my thoughts and stuff if I'm just walking around. I think because you're getting more blood flow and you can just kind of think better. So I'm trying to think of things, I'll just walk around, because if I'm just sat still, it can sort of, I can just freeze up and just kind of, yeah. Because actually movement's really good for, like, just the whole body. So, yeah, but what I'm saying is, like, yeah, that it's about purpose, it's about finding that calling. So I don't know if you've found that, but that's something that I believe is a large part of it. You could say it's more, maybe it's more so in, like, men, for that, like, having that purpose. But I think for women, it's like, sometimes it could be caused by feelings of low self-esteem and self-worth. And it could be that maybe they don't really feel like, for example, some women might feel a bit conscious about themselves, like, because there's this whole kind of pressure on women to kind of, to be a certain way, like, around their friends or whatever, and if they're not as conventionally pretty as their other friends or whatever, then they might feel a sense of, just like inadequacy there, and it can, because oftentimes a lot of them tie their self-worth to, how attractive they are or something like that. And yeah. And that's something that they need to learn to kind of try to move past, and obviously try to put your best foot forward and all that. And I think a lot of people can, improve themselves, like, but there's a point where you have to just accept that that's as good as you're going to get with that in that way, but you can always improve in other ways and find other ways to be valued, and maybe by, having a sense of humor, for example, can go a long way. And because, people love to, have someone make them laugh, it's just, being a single parent would be a challenge. You have like more responsibilities. So what do you think about, like, what is it, when men, when they bring up some other guy's child, you get these women, well, some women will say that, men should be like, bringing up some other man's child, and it's like, I think it's great if you're, like, willing to do that, but it's like, I don't think men should be shamed for not wanting to do that, because it's not their responsibility at the end of the day. You could say it's selfish or whatever, but it's like, well, it's not their child. The woman, oftentimes you could say that it's partly on the woman, that if she made a bad choice, then in some cases, but then again, maybe she was too young to really kind of make that choice. I don't know, it's just, in some cases I would say I'd blame the parents then. Blame the parents of the woman for not being responsible and just letting her just go and be reckless and go off with some random guy who they haven't vetted or anything like that, because it's important that whoever that she gets with is actually going to, you know, love and respect her and not just cheat or do any other things and not be a dick. So, anyway, live on my own now, it's a shock 5 years now. Or is that like, you mean they're grown up now, right? So like, what I'm saying is that, yeah, I don't think that men should feel like they have to like, you know, come to like save the day. It's like, you know, at the end of the day, it's not their responsibility, but if they want to do that, then I think that's, you could say, quite noble, if you will, but, you know, I'm not sure I'd really want to be taking on all that responsibility, to be honest, but, yeah, because some of them, I think the problem is that some of them, this is the thing, you'll get a lot of, like, women on dating apps, and a lot of them are single mothers, and a lot of them are just looking for some guy, and the thing is, even the ones that are looking for a relationship, a lot of them are looking for some guy just to, you know, help to raise their kid, and maybe even financially support it. So, this is the thing, it's like, I don't know, unless they're getting child support, I don't know, but, already, but then sometimes they even want, you know, more money. Sometimes they'll even keep the child support for themselves and be like, so there can be a lot of like nefarious things going on, and we just have to like be careful like with these sort of things, you know, because let's say, you know, she might be getting child support. I don't know if like, but then they might find out about that, I guess, but or if she's getting this guy to pay for it, but then she might, well, she's got, you know, she's getting child support, but then she might, I don't know, lie about it and say, I don't know. I don't know if there's like any way that she could hide that, but I know there's people doing dodgy things all the time, but I do hear a lot of times where like women are like, you know, like unfairly given child support for like when it was like their own fault, what it was like. Yeah, anyway. But yeah, it's just sometimes like these, you know, family courts can be quite corrupt and I've heard like all sorts of shit going on, but yeah, dating apps is just a joke. What do you mean I never had a penny of my ex or boyfriends? I was too independent. Oh yeah. Yeah, I don't know. There's this thing of like women being strong and independent, but then they can actually put off a lot of men though. So, yeah. There's this whole kind of like, I don't know. There's this whole kind of narrative trying to like encourage women to, you know, be like boss babes and all that, and you just be strong and independent. You know, your Prince Charming will come at the right time and whatever, but that never hardly happens. A lot of them end up looking back and regretting their life choices. A lot of them end up, you know, without any children or anything. They just end up being lonely, a lot of them. So, yeah, some of them can be genuinely happy, you know, but, you know, if they've never had that experience, they've never, you know, given it a try, then it's like, how would they know? I don't know. It's just, don't understand why. What's that? Yes, it does what? Hang on, what we're saying? So yeah, basically, what you were saying about you didn't take any money off your ex. You were saying I was like I couldn't. Yeah, at first I didn't really understand what you were saying, but basically, I don't know. I just feel like they're trying to like sort of what's this? Men don't like independent. I think because of the whole thing of it's just quite a masculine sort of trait, if you will, because it just basically if men feel like you don't need them, then there's like okay, well fine then, I don't need you too, so goodbye kind of thing. A man wants a woman, I think most of the time, who maybe is a little bit clingy, not too much because that can get toxic, but like I don't think they're really attracted to a woman who really doesn't feel like they're kind of I don't know, I mean but anyway, I guess it depends on what you mean by independent. I mean, men tend to want a woman who's feminine in different ways, like whether it be how she looks, whether it's how she acts in terms of her, kind of the way she's like kind of nurturing and in that sort of energy really of course, people say, oh well, blah 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 about kind of what is that? I know what I know you mean money, what you're saying. I'm not saying that men want, I mean I think men would want to provide for a woman who's feminine, who was providing something herself. It comes down to like, I guess, symbiosis and sort of appreciating the values of each other, that there's things that generally that men are better at and generally women are better at, and by coming together that sort of they can sort of synergize with each other, if you will. But anyway, I need love and time, not money or what I can get out of them. Yeah, if you're talking about like money, then of course, not every woman needs to be like financially supported. But yeah, it depends on like, because some, they talk about being strong and independent in the sense of, that they don't really sort of value men very much in a lot of ways, that they don't really see them as even worthy of like going on a date or whatever. It's like they're just, and some of them may only see them as what the money they can get out of them, and not the values that they can bring. We all have our own values, but yeah, what's that? That is most women want. I don't. Yeah, some are quite sort of, and they'll deny it. They'll be like, oh, I just want a nice man, but like, I think the problem is that a lot of women, it's like they want their cake and eat it kind of thing. They want the like alpha male or whatever. I'm not saying they all want that, but like a lot of them want this alpha male with this kind of certain kind of like thing about them that's quite could be seen as a bit of like a bad boy who's a bit kind of but then they also want him to be a beater at the same time and be like simping for her. It's like, it's completely like, insane. It's like, you either want one or the other. It's like you can't have both. because the guys who are going to be like the providers, usually they're going to be more of that, sort of, they're not going to probably be like the guys who are just going to be all like not giving you that much attention. It's like some of these women seem to just love it when, they don't love it, but as in like, they chase the guys who don't even give them that much attention. It's like they're chasing that validation off them. It's like when someone's deprived of something, they want it more. But then the guy who's just like giving constant love and validation to his person, it can end up actually making them become jaded by it, if you will, and they start to lose respect in some cases. Now, of course, I'm not saying you do that, but it's not right. It's like, I don't know. So you got a lot of guys then thinking they have to become jerks, that they have to become arrogant and just completely like obnoxious and nasty kind of people because they think that's what's going to attract a woman, but all you're going to do is just attract the wrong kind of woman, who's damaged. There is a lot of damaged people out there in general nowadays on both sides, and it goes back to the whole thing of, like the trust issues because so many people have some crazy stories to tell about past experiences with somebody. As they say, hurt people. Yeah, more than ever. Like I said, with social media, and it's so easy to just cheat on somebody now. You can just get out your phone and just, go on Instagram or whatever and post pictures of yourself and get like people in your DMs almost immediately. If you're somewhat attractive, that is, anyway. But even some people are not that attractive, if they've got enough following or whatever on there, it's like they'll get people, to like reach out. It's just, or they could just like put you on a dating app or something like that. But maybe if you're in a relationship, you shouldn't really even be on your phone much unless you're using it for some kind of, either it's for a business or something like that. And because it's like, what are you actually doing on your phone? Like, if you're in a relationship, then it's like, if you're with that person and you're seeing them like they're just on their phone and it's just they're doing things kind of secretly, it's like, I think everything should be transparent. Like, if you're with somebody, then like, why are you doing things in secret? And another thing is, if they say that they've got this friend that's an opposite gender, instant red flag. If they're talking about all this friend that they have, that's they're always talking to, and that you've never seen this person, and they haven't, like introduced you to them, but they're always talking with them, then that is probably a big sign that they're actually cheating on you. Because it's like, it's very, to me, it's sus when they're talking to someone and they don't include you in that, because what are they trying to hide? That they're obviously trying to hide something, that they're secretly, that they're into this other person, but they're not going to say because they know that they're doing something wrong. So obviously people have a conscience, but then they'll just kind of choose to ignore it a lot of the time because it's inconvenient. It's convenient for a lot of people to just ignore their conscience and just try to just work around that and try to do things in secret. People become more and more secretive. When you've got all these apps, you've got dating apps, social media apps, I mean, who can really trust anybody now? It's hard. So many people have ulterior motives, and then it's like, I'd say like if you're talking to someone online, then you probably can't trust them until you've met them, and even then, be careful. It's like there was this guy called Richard, I became friends with him offline. I was actually met him like on TikTok, and I just kind of started kind of meeting up a few times with him, and I started to build up some trust. But it's like it takes time, like, because I don't know who I'm dealing with, and you think to yourself, if someone seems too nice and too, sort of supportive, then you start to think, why are they doing this? Why is this person being like that? Because you have to be worried when someone seems too nice. What is this person trying to do? What are they? Because they say sometimes that can be why as well, that some women are not attracted to the quote-unquote nice guy, because it seems fake. It's like, why is he being so nice to me? Hello, Sapphire. First of all, hello. Second, what is your opinion about fitness? Like, example, going to the gym, getting a workout. Yeah, that's something I would recommend if you're wanting to improve your health, but it's not like a be-all and end-all thing, I would say. Going to the gym for like what purpose? Like, you're not used to it. What's that? It's like being with someone and waiting for something better to come along. Yeah, exactly. It's not right to be like. It's like using somebody as like a placeholder. That's what a lot of people see others as. Just, oh well, this person's this placeholder. They're just there as like a kind of, sort of just to fill me in until I find the real one. And I think that is kind of like morally just not right. Make sure you clean your machine. What do you mean? Is that supposed to be some kind of like euphemism or something? But yeah, working out is a great thing for like your mental health and your physical health. There's so many health benefits to exercise, but I would say like if you're a woman, then and I've kind of like gotten in arguments about this the other day about women who are trying to build muscle and stuff. I don't really understand, especially if it's like upper body muscle. Like if you're a woman, if you're just like trying to get healthy, then I don't see the need for that. Like, why is that? Why does that look good to you? Like to have big biceps or something. I mean, of course, like women are not going to get big muscles anyway if they're not taking stuff. But like, yeah, the whole thing of women trying to like, I've seen like all these things on Facebook and different Instagram, whatever, when they're doing all these workouts and stuff, and yeah, it to me it just takes away from their beauty when they're trying to do that, because of course, if they're doing it for themselves, fair enough. But I don't know if it's just because it's something that's been promoted. But the thing is this whole thing about like self-improvement and all that. And I think women have got to understand that the men and women are different, and in terms of like our goals and what we're trying to strive towards, and that I don't think women necessarily need to be like, doing all these upper body workouts. I mean, to look good. I mean, and I think it's worse when they're trying to get too skinny as well, and it can end up actually, and there's even the chance it could mess up your hormones if you get too skinny. You have not enough body fat on you. So there's some of them trying to do that, and they're like, pretty much like have an ED, and it can happen with men as well, but a lot of women especially seem to fall for like the where they get too I don't have a family now. I mean lean, but like not too lean, because then that can also be like too much, if you know what I mean. I think an hourglass shape is like ideal for a woman personally. That's probably like the healthiest kind of for a woman. Like having that kind of, having some curve to them, but not like fat. Like they're just kind of in a healthy proportion. But a lot of them have kind of been, I don't know, conditioned to think that skinnier is better, and it's not necessarily the case. It's probably not going to improve your health, really. It's just going to make you look kind of malnourished, and yeah. I mean, I know maybe I should keep my mouth shut here, but I always like to put my opinion in, but yeah. There's a healthy amount of body fat a woman can carry, where she's still like healthy and like kind of in the right balance. Like, unless it starts to kind of accumulate around your gut, then it's not really unhealthy. The thing with men and women, they're different in terms of how much body fat that they're healthily can carry, because with men it's like they tend to store it more on their gut, but with a woman it's like the first place is for it to store is away from that. So, and those are arguably like the best places for them to store it. So you're petite, oh yeah, it's just there's a lot of like marketing out there, like fitness stuff, you know. There's a lot of on like, oh, how to burn fat and all this shit, but some people I think are taking things too far. You know, when they're having to take some weird kind of supplements and things like that, you don't even know what you're taking. It's just some kind of dodgy ass shit. Or 5'4", yeah, that's probably around average for a woman, isn't it? Well, I think I saw somewhere it was about possibly 5'5", but yeah, so it's not much below like an average height for a woman. It depends what country you're in. I think some countries it's even 5'2" or 5'1", in like, you know, especially in like places like India or China or somewhere like that. But yeah. But it's like, we need to just be able to promote health and just in a balanced way, and people shouldn't need to feel like pressured into looking a certain way, because they're not really going to gain any benefit from doing that anyway. As I remember, there was like some, you know, sometimes they'll, you know, end up literally like skipping periods and shit because they're like getting that skinny or that lean. This is what I mean, like it takes away from that femininity if you're going too much lean, but also putting on too much muscle as a woman also does the same thing. So it's about, well, of course, if you want to get stronger, you want to, I mean, the thing is, you can actually get quite strong without getting muscle. This is a thing as well. A lot of people think you have to build muscle to get strong, but a lot of strength comes from neurological adaptations. As long as you're not training close to failure and fatigue in your muscles, you can actually get stronger by doing that. So I've seen those guys that can deadlift like 200 kilograms plus, and they don't look like they lift anything. So it goes to show that if you want to get stronger, you don't necessarily have to build tons of muscle to do that. Sorry, I keep missing words. It's okay. And the smallest one in the family, oh yeah. So how tall are your other family? So I am strong for my size, and my exes said that, lol. Oh yeah. Yeah. It's like you can be someone who's like kind of, it's best to, I think it'd be better to be like, have that strength to body weight ratio or something, like where you can, the thing is that there's different types of training. It's like, yeah, getting bigger muscles can help you be stronger, but the thing is, most of it comes from, like I said, neurological adaptations. So you've got some people who are like, say, I don't know, 60, 70 kilograms, and they can deadlift 200 to 300 kilograms. So they can deadlift 3 to 4 times their body weight, versus there's a lot of guys who are, say, like, 100, 120 kilograms, and they can deadlift 300 to 400, whatever. But it's not quite as impressive to me if you're, because like I would say, strength to body weight ratio is key, really, being able to, be able to do a lot of like these calisthenic stuff, because if you get too fat as a guy, it's like or as a woman even, then that can actually throw off that balance of strength to body weight. It's like, yeah, fat can help in certain instances, but when it comes to just using your body weight, that it can really hinder it. Picking up kids all my life, that's probably why I'm strong, though. Oh yeah. Yeah. But it's probably not going to build a lot of muscle unless you're like... The thing that builds muscle is that you are lifting all these weights, but then you're just going to go to exhaustion, to like muscular failure, basically. That they say is the most effective way to build muscle. Otherwise, you'd have to do a crazy amount of volume to then exhaust the muscle. So it's not just about lifting heavy, but it's about doing it for a certain amount of repetitions to where your body is exhausted, where the muscles become exhausted, and then the muscles have to adapt to then get stronger, if you get me. So yeah. People ask me if I go to the gym. I never have. Is it just because of all the strength, or is it, or like, yeah, just some people seem to like naturally be quite strong. Like, I remember there was this guy who was like, he did say like he used to do push-ups, but then he said, like, I don't know if it was lying or not, but he said he'd not done anything for quite a while, and he had a really strong grip, and he was like, he looked like he was quite built. I mean, he wasn't particularly lean, but he looks like he was quite built. Like, it was like he was just naturally like in that shape. I don't know. Like, it was naturally just. Some people they either never go to the gym, or they just maybe do a little bit, and they seem to be able to put on size quite easily. But yeah, whereas some people, they really have to like stimulate their muscles to grow, basically. So I'm getting older, so that's why I'm on your channel, to get ideas. Yeah, that's what it is. It's like we're all here to share ideas, and yeah, because it's like sometimes I'm wrong about things, but it's good to be able to have that feedback, to be able to sort of just, yeah, kind of change my perspective on things sometimes, or even just add to my perspective, because sometimes you might be right about something, but then you might also be missing some key parts of it as well. Like, for example, you might think, oh, well, the reason why this is this way is that, and you might, yeah, that might be part of it, but then you also need to hear other perspectives to then get a fuller perspective on things. So it's good to have, because sometimes we may have some like blind spots on something. I'll probably do some kind of training, but I don't know if I'll be filming it or not, but I'll see how I feel, really. But yeah, I hope everyone's well today. So yeah, I'll probably get some short out. I've been doing a lot of shorts on my channel, so that's what's been generating most of my views lately. I did one like the other week, and that's got 3,300 views on it. So you just never really know with these things, but I find it's one of the most like efficient ways to get the subscribers and stuff. And I don't know if it really makes much of a difference though, because I'll come on live and it's like a lot of these people probably won't come and watch me very much, but yeah, it's just one of those things really. But yeah, it's like, what is it on now, the live stream? It's on 140 views, I think. But I mean, most of them haven't really stuck around, so it's literally just you in the chat right now. I don't know if anyone else is watching. Let's have a look. How many viewers have we got now? So you get all these people just lurk there in the background. 6 people apparently now, so yeah, say hello if you're watching, guys. Yeah, 143 views apparently, so most people at work, yeah, we're saying 6 just a second ago, but let's have a look. But even when I come on at evening, it's like, most of the time it's less than 10, so yeah, 5 it's saying now, but maybe some people just watch in the background, because even on the evening, maybe it's just that some people are like across the pond or whatever, and they're like still at work, so you got to think a lot of them are in America as well, so some of them might not be able to tune in, or if say someone's in like some other part of the world, I don't know, America, Canada, whatever, and they're, let's say I go on at the evening and it's like, they're getting like, what is it, 2 p.m. or whatever. It's like afternoon, they're busy, a lot of them. But yeah, sometimes they might be able to just tune in the background. And that's fine, you know, at least they're there, at least they're listening in, because, yeah, but yeah, I haven't really put any like long form content out for a while. It just wasn't really getting that many views, so I was like, okay, well, why would I spend so much time trying to put that out just for it to get full views? Because it was just very random how many views it would get. Some video might randomly pop up, but for the most part, like most of them would get less than 100 views, so I'm like, okay, maybe I'll just dedicate more to doing shorts, because yeah, it just seems to be easier to do that. I quite like doing shorts, so you can just add like the text into it. It's just they're quite easy to make, and just kind of bang some out, and just yeah. So I did one yesterday where I was showing like this new like skill that I've learned, this calisthenic skill, but yeah, I just like to kind of keep making progress with that stuff. Good channels get, well, God channels you're on about. You're on about the religious ones. Yeah, to turn it into a God. Yeah, let's say this is morning, what is it? Morning prayers, you know, just, yeah. Yeah, I'm not a religious person, so what are your thoughts on the whole religion stuff? Then I don't know if I've asked you, but it's, well, religion's a man-made construct, really, isn't it? I think it's just I think a lot of it's just a lie, really. I mean, there might be some thing to get from some of them, like some stories that you can learn from, but like if you can take out all the God, maybe there's something to learn from it. But it's the way that these religions would use gods like a weaponize people to like be like, oh well, you better do this because otherwise you're gonna go to hell. I mean, I'm thinking like, what kind of loving God would like threaten their own people with like hell because they don't? And then there's people saying that if you don't believe in God, then you're going to go to hell. Well, maybe it's not their fault that they don't believe in you, you know, because the thing is that if it was so obvious, then shouldn't it be self-evident, right? It's what I see it as. If there's this God as the way that they think of it as, shouldn't it be fucking obvious? But yeah, because I mean, I just see it that this world is just this kind of random fucked up place that it doesn't really, to me, like feel like there's some kind of magical deity behind it all. Now I could get into all kind of stuff on spirituality or whatever, and but when it comes to like some magical God behind it all, that's infinite, that's something that, how can we ever even comprehend of something like that? So to me it all just sounds like magic to me. What's that? I flicked through the live. It's hard to believe what you can't see. Yeah, exactly. That's why it requires faith. But it's like some people say belief is a substitute for knowing, or not
or just kind of not knowing or whatever. It's like you just kind of, instead of accepting that you don't know something, you just cling on to some belief. It's like you have to just accept that you don't know if you don't know. But I understand some people maybe they feel they need to have that kind of sense of like comfort by thinking, well, when we die, that ain't all it, because a lot of people are afraid of, especially as they get older, they might be a bit more trying to just seek some kind of faith in something. Because you imagine that you're on your deathbed and you're just like, you've only got like a small amount of time to live, and you're like, and you're just kind of like, what's this? So you can't. Yeah, it's hard to believe a lot of it. It's just yeah. There's a lot of like unfair stuff happening, and then people say, oh well, God has given people free will, but then He's created all this stuff. He's created pain, suffering, all that, because that shouldn't be something that exists if He created it all. Because when you really think deeply about it, you think to yourself, hang on, something doesn't add up about this, really. Like, it doesn't feel right that there's this God that's apparently so loving, but yet there's so much suffering going on. Every day there's suffering, and He doesn't do anything about it. Oh, but because free will. But what about the will of the people who are being attacked or in suffering in bad conditions? And there's always going to be stuff like that happening. There's always going to be, to some degree, there's always going to be suffering. And some people even go as far to say we shouldn't even have children, because why would we bring them into this? I can understand their point of view, but at the same time, I think if you can be responsible, then you can try to kind of help to bring your kids into a world that's to be more responsible, so then they can potentially prevent a lot of the unnecessary suffering from happening. Now, there is some things that are just going to happen, but if our life is overall good, then having a little bit of suffering isn't, maybe it's still worth it, because this is what I think of, like, if more than half of your life is good versus bad, then it's arguably worth it to go through all the bad times. But if most of your life is suffering, then I don't think it's really worth it. So that's the thing where you get all these people suffering, and like say, like with you, and it's like that. And if they believe in religion, then they say, oh, you can't just euthanize yourself. But then, what if you just don't want to keep going, and you just either suffering or you're just miserable? Because let's say someone gets completely paralyzed and whatever, and it's just, some people might just be like, but then again, there was this guy, Man in the Iron Lung, and it was like showing that, that kind of like willpower, if you will, that strong will of someone who, ended up in the most kind of unfortunate kind of like, where he had to be put into an iron lung and lived the rest of his life in that for like 72 years, I believe, something like that. Just completely like, yeah, goes to show that, if you have that kind of will, then you can still make a life for yourself, even in the most tragic of circumstances that you get yourself in. He had polio when he was like 6 or something, and he was like in an iron lung for like 72 years, I think, something like that. It's crazy, But yet you get all these people complaining about some minor inconvenience, We have to put things into perspective. At least you're not in that situation. But even that guy, he made more out of his life than most people. You know, he wrote a book apparently. He had a pen in his mouth and he would it would write like that instead of, because he couldn't use his hands or anything. He had no use of that because he was in an iron lung. So it's just it goes to show that that how lucky we are really. If you are able-bodied, then you have nothing to complain about. If you have all these things going for you, you have people in your life. But imagine being in an iron lung. It's like, you're like fucking shit out of luck. But instead he kind of wasn't gonna let it stop him. That's like, you've got to just remember that we can all make something great. Because if this guy can do it, then most of you can too. You've got to just believe in yourself and have the determination. Sometimes it can be easy to get disheartened, but we all have strengths
that we can use to become better. So but you've seen it, have you? Yeah. But it's a very inspiring story, I would say. It's Anyway, how are we all doing? It's like nobody else chatting at the moment, so what time are we on now? Probably just do a few more minutes, and I'll probably go get some food. But it's a quiet day here for me at the moment, but it's okay, I guess. Yeah. Don't blame you, what's that? What, getting off here, you mean, or? I don't know, it's just, it'd be better if there was a few more people chatting and stuff, and we can bounce ideas off each other and stuff, so, but I'm not gonna complain about it, like I said, it is what it is. What are you up to today? Did you say you was not doing anything today? Or what? I have all these plans, then oftentimes I just never end up doing anything. And it's I need to just get out of that. And then I'll just beat myself up over it and thinking I'm just a loser or something, and just they come in and don't chat. I know it's a bit. I think I might be painting. Painting walls or what? Now that one. What's that? Sorry. You mean that one? I'm getting confused now. You mean I don't know, just not get stuff done? You mean just I have all these plans and then it's procrastination. It's annoying. You feel like you've just you just let yourself down, and I don't know, just disappoint yourself. You think I could have done so much more, but I just let myself down as per usual. I'm just like a failure. I'm just a loser. But it's up to you to. You might have to dig deep and be like, how badly do you really want this? If you want something in life, think, how badly do you really want it? You have to really channel that desire. Anyone else in the chat want to speak? Yeah. Probably not, because if they were, they would have already spoken probably. So some people just like to lurk in the background, but it is what it is. But if anyone's got any questions, put them in the chat.
Yeah. Is everybody okay then? But yeah, we just gotta not like let anything out of our control get to us. Like I said at the beginning of the live, it's about focusing on what's within your control. Because anything else is just, you know, it's just a waste of energy, really, isn't it? It's a waste of mental energy. I'm thinking about whether I should do the rowing again today and see if I can break the record again. So I could do a gym session, and I'm not sure yet, but I want to see if I can, maybe I could break it, but then again, it could start getting to a point where I'm like, if I don't want to get too obsessive over that, and because then it's like, you might be like, if I don't break it, then that could be disheartening or something, but I don't know. But there's nothing to lose, so if I don't break it, that's fine. I still have that record, but if I do break it, then I'll probably, yeah, just share it again and just like, this is my new record. But I've been getting really good with like on the rowing machine. I think that's one of the things I'm the best at, because it's one thing where height can be an advantage. Having long limb length actually is generally seen as an advantage to rowing. I could beat almost anybody on my channel to rowing 1,000 meters. You know, so like, yeah, we want to see if I can just keep improving on it and just, yeah, keep getting better times and stuff. It's ultimately just like, yeah, I mean, it's about just putting in that grind and just, you keep showing up, you keep practicing it until you're like, yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna, I mean, hopefully I get sub 330 soon, but what was it? 336.3 is my current record. But yeah, the rowing machine, it can get very intense, you know, I have to kind of like psych myself up a bit and just like, I just do a warm up first. I usually do like a couple of minutes of a warm up, is what I find is the best to really kind of get the best out of it. Just kind of get, you know, your blood flowing, and then just really fucking hammer it, you know, just really just like, you know, like balls to the wall, kind of like absolutely just, yeah. But it'll be interesting to see what time I get, if I can improve again, because then if that's happening, then I wonder if it's going to be a trend where I can just keep making improvements almost like every time. So don't forget to stretch though. Oh yeah, they say about that, innit, about stretching the muscles and all that. But I don't know, like, I don't know if that's like kind of that important for rowing, but it depends on, like, I guess it could be there could be benefit to that. I mean, more just in terms of injury prevention, I suppose. But I mean, I know I should probably warm up more than I do. I would usually just have a bit of time at the beginning, just go at a slower pace, and then I would go for like the time trial. But yeah, it's just I don't like to mess around with just doing things that I feel like are just not very productive. It's hard for me to kind of do all these things I just feel like are kind of, I don't know, just
doing all these stretches to me feel a bit kind of, I don't know, boring and just, I don't know, like I'm just wasting my time really, but I know there is some benefit to them. But there's also, I suppose, the whole kind of flexibility aspect of things as well. If you can, practice stretching your muscles out more, then you can improve your like mobility and stuff like that. So I've got pretty good like hip mobility. Like I can go really deep on the squat, but I mean do it before exercise. Yeah. But it's like I don't know like if it would really help me that much. I tend to find that I don't know whether maybe it's just me, but I don't really feel the need to do that unless I'm doing something really heavy, like a very heavy lift. Then I would warm up to it first, and then like that was what would be the best way to kind of is to get blood flowing and like get the muscles activated first. Kind of not too aggressively, but yeah. I don't know. Just everyone's got their own sort of way of doing things, but probably say some kind of warm-up's probably best. Like I said, just doing a bit of slower pace at the beginning and then going right into like fast pace, but then I don't know. But yeah, you want to not have too much tension in your muscles, or maybe there's a benefit of that in terms of if you have tension in your muscles, then that can make you less efficient or something. So I don't want to be like, otherwise I want to leave no stone unturned. Like I want to make sure that I can perform at my absolute best, as opposed to just feeling like I'm leaving something on the table, like I'm just missing something. Like you want to make sure that you're just doing everything that you can. Like I started on this new supplement, so I don't know if it's already helping or not, but we'll see what time I get. I've been on it for like nearly a week now or something, and it's beta alanine, so it's meant to help with buffering the lactic acid burn thing, or the fatigue that you get from lactic acid. You get this thing called hydrogen ions or something that are produced, and that's what causes that burning sensation. I found that I wasn't really burning much. I was just I would start to get a bit fatigued, but it was like you're going to probably get more of the burn on shorter distances than that, I guess. Because I know on running they tend to get that a lot on 400 meters sprints, but then longer than that, it's because it's like you cannot be maintaining that pace throughout the run, so you have to be able to run at a more, you have to leave a bit in the tank basically, otherwise you're just gonna fatigue. Or some people might actually leave the going hard till the end. What you got? What's that? What you got? What do you mean? I'll probably wrap this up soon. Yeah. Anything else? Hello, Spunk, my princess. How you doing? What's that? What you taking? It's called beta alanine, but I've also started taking creatine as well. Well, I started taking creatine over a year ago. But creatine's maybe good for mainly for short bursts, like sprints. So yeah, that's where they say that most of the benefit is for say strength and short bursts of sprints and stuff. Say on a 100-meter sprint or something like that. Because it says here leads to benefits like increased muscle mass,
strength and power output, especially during high intensity activities. Additionally, creatine may play a role in muscle recovery, in reducing fatigue, and potentially offering benefits to certain neurological conditions. So they reckon it could even be considered like a nootropic for some people. Yeah, so just about kind of yeah. But it's like, you know, you do something, more and more you do it, then the more you'll just enjoy it because it becomes easier over time. Like you just find yourself, you can push yourself harder and you just have more energy, and it's just going to feel like what used to be so hard now becomes easy. Like if you're weak, then it's like you'd struggle with, say, like moving furniture around and stuff, but this is what I mean with like functional training. It's going to help to like make real life scenarios a lot more easy to do. Because if you're used to moving around some heavy weights or whatever, then it's not going to feel like so much of a struggle anymore. It's like we've become more adapted to that, and yeah. So I'm going to get going, guys. I'll be back later. Alright, peace out. Bye.